Hey guys, welcome to Gods Unchained with the TheProfesserf and TeamStreamTeam. I'm joined today by themudman and cautionfun. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing great, Professor. How are you?
I'm also doing great, Professor. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Hanging out with the friends. Today's video, we're going to be talking about what is daily play to earn. So as most of the player base knows, and for those that's looking to join Gods Unchained recently rolled out daily play to earn. So I'm going to go over real quick what daily play to earn is. It's a mechanism in Gods Unchained that rewards players Gods token for winning games, their first 10 games in a given day, and it's a 24-hour cycle. The modifier for play to earn is determined by your rank in the game, and there's ranks from 1 to 12, with 12 being mythic, the top level. You can see on the blog page here that being at the higher rank gives you a higher modifier, which means that you'll potentially earn more tokens. You get a deck modifier, which means that the fancier, shinier cards you have, you get a little bonus in terms of how much earnings you can get. For example, free-to-play cards, you're looking at a really low earning modifiers here. However, if you have at least 30 cards that are meteorite, you get a 15% modifier, and it goes so on with a diamond deck being at 100% modifier. So those are the two main factors, your rank and the deck shine that you're playing. Obviously, the biggest thing that we need to mention here is you need to win some games. You have your first 10 games count towards daily play to earn, with your first 3 games earning you double points. So you're incentivized to win at least the first 3 games there to double your earnings. Anything I missed, guys?
Not from my end. Yeah, I think you hit all the important parts. That minimum threshold of 30 meteorite cards is definitely the most important as it pertains to your shine modifier. And I do like that it's a dual tier system where it's not solely focused on the quality of your cards, but how well you play, what rank you're at matters just as much. So not entirely pay to earn. Definitely have to have some skill there.
Hey, I agree with that. I think you knocked it out of the park with your explanation, Professor.
All right, great. Thanks, guys. All right, so I think what we wanted to do now, since we talked about what is daily play to earn, is we wanted to share some our experience. So play to earn was out on August 31st, starting at 5 p.m. Pacific. We've had about almost a week of playing it, so wanted to be able to share our experience in playing the daily play to earn so far. I think I'll go first here, guys. Let me share let me go back here to the Gods Unchained launcher. You can see at the top bar there's a big tile that says daily play to earn with a little blue button on the upper right. If you click onto that, that brings you to their fancy new daily play to earn dashboard. You can see how much you've earned in your daily fragments here on the left side, along with how much the community has earned total. And then you get your calculation of how much rewards you'll get in Gods token. So you can see from my history here, you can see my rewards and claims. Started on Thursday, the 1st. I earned about 780 fragments for almost 3 gods and so forth, with my best performance at over 1,000 fragments and 4.4 gods. So that's a dashboard in a nutshell, how you could look at your daily play to earn progress. What I like so far about daily play to earn is, again, as cautionfun mentioned, it's also your wins, your type of cards that you have, but also there's different modifiers as well that I didn't mention earlier. There's a win streak, so if you're able to win 2 games in a row, 3 games in a row, your earnings get a little bump there. Some things that I like as well is that it was a promise, I guess, a long time ago about earning in Gods Unchained, and it's coming to fruition. It's a good chance for Gods Unchained to draw some attention, reward existing players, and also potentially draw new players. I think one more thing is that the pool of gods increase with the number of players, so it's one of those things where the more people participate, the better for everyone. And I mentioned this before, what I do like is that the first 3 wins reward double points, the double fragments there. So I think that's a good thing. It helps people out just to kind of get at least 3 wins. I'm gonna go over.
Yeah, you don't have to play the whole. You don't have to play the whole 10 games. You can get a solid chunk of your total earnings if you just quick start out 3-0, call it a day. If you don't have the time. I am curious, what amount of wins netted you that roughly 1,000 fragments there.
Okay, so yeah, the day that I got over 1,000 fragments, I had 7 wins. However, the next day I had 6 wins and also earned 1,000 fragments. And I think the biggest difference there was in the other one where I had more wins, but I also had a longer win streak. I think I won like 5 in a row. So I think that really kind of doubled up there.
Gotcha, understood.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I also find that interesting because I've actually only played one full day of the daily play to earn experience, all 10 games. I went 4-6, a pretty abysmal record. But reason being, I was playing by far my shiniest deck, not my most competitively viable deck. And I ended up with that 4-6 record. Like I said, pretty sure I had 0 streaks of any kind, and still ended up with 920 fragments. Good for 3.5 gods. That was on the very first day. So yeah, I do think it's interesting there that there's a decision to make. Do you run a suboptimal list, maybe get a few less wins, but like your shine multiplier is much, much higher? You might actually end up at break even, or maybe even better than that if you can string together some wins with a super shiny suboptimal deck.
Yeah, I've been going with the super shiny suboptimal strategy also. Like just by happenstance, like school teacher decks and portal wrangler decks, I'm pretty much all gold and diamond on just naturally. So I've been playing like a lot of those, and I've gotten 3 wins like on 3 different days, and then I've gotten like roughly like 900 fragments like per day. Also, I don't think I got any win streaks because I was playing not great decks, but I'm very excited to like actually use my shiny cards and have it matter.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like I packed that diamond portal wrangler like when you could buy Genesis packs.
Yeah,
I've been waiting a long time to use. I think it's really cool. I'd also like to reference that I really like the dashboard feature, like in the client. It tells you like how many games you've played. It seems like you're going to be able to claim your rewards from the client, which is like so much better than like the system for weekend ranked. Like it gives me a lot of hope that they can implement this into other aspects of the gameplay.
Yeah,
Agreed.
right on. Agreed. Yeah, it's good that you guys shared actually your progress. So Mudman shared 3 wins. Caution said 4-6 on the first day, but you guys definitely in the game longer than I have and had a chance to accumulate some nice cards. I also did 4-6 on the first day, but I only earned 780 fragments, which is about almost 3 gods, 2.9, and that's because I run all meteorites. So it sounds like even if someone doesn't feel like they can win that much, but again, going with the dual system that Caution mentioned earlier, that all shine system, it can pay off a little bit here, showing that even with the same number of wins, you guys were able to earn more than I did. So, but again, it's a balancing act, right? You don't want to blow your wallet and not win, and also have a hard time trying to get that recovery on how much you spent.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's an important note to make, is that from going from plane to meteorite for like a mostly common and rare deck, it's probably worth it as far as eventual ROI via the daily play and earn system, just because reaching that minimum 30 meteorite deck threshold is so important for your multipliers there. But shining up from like an all meteorite deck to an all diamond deck is not going to be worth it in terms of ROI. The cards are going to be 50 to 100 times more expensive, and your max multiplier is going to be 2x higher than it would have been naturally. So again, the shiny cards there, I agree with the Mudman in that I've had a lot of shiny cards for a long time that I've really enjoyed playing just because of the aesthetic, and now just like having that extra incentive to play them, it actually tangibly benefiting my play to earnings. It's really nice to see. But that can't be the primary reason you shine up your deck. You gotta like the cards first. Yeah. Fun first.
I feel like if you end up with like an all diamond deck from like a strictly like free to play and earn experience, I think it would be something like you do what Caution said and you make everything meteorite, and then just very slowly over time you turn that deck diamond if you really love that archetype. Whereas like conversely, you can make your one deck all meteorite, play and earn a little bit, and then make like a new deck all meteorite and go from there.
Yeah.
So it's fun that there's like 2 avenues to do it. You can either go for like max ROI and I only play school teachers forever, or you can just slowly build up your collection in like a very like easy to calculate way since you're earning gods every day.
Yeah, which is I'm so happy that loop is back, because that's what we benefited from in the early days when the Forge first opened, I had a nowhere's near complete Genesis collection at the time, but I had earned so many core cards, I was able to use the proceeds from selling those core cards to fill out my Genesis collection. So yeah, I mean, like, a steady stream of daily earnings, just building out the width of your collection and the scope of decks and cards available to you. Yeah, it's just like a really, really neat organic loop that I'm really happy is back.
Yeah, and the way the dashboard works, where it shows you like every single day of the week, I think that's also cool from like a new player's perspective, because you can like see sort of like in real time like how much you've improved.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Or how bad you've done, in my case.
Yeah.
Same here. I'm looking at some not so pretty numbers, but in due time.
Yeah, it'll average out in the long run. Cool. Thank you, guys. Yeah, appreciate the insights there. Definitely great points you both brought up. I am going to bring up a couple of things I don't like currently with the system. The first one is I think this might just be beyond Gods Unchained, more just the overall crypto play to earn space, is that I'm not a big fan of that daily play to earn aspect of it, the daily part. I just feel like it instills FOMO to some people, and you have this compulsion where you feel like you need to play. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I feel like you play games for fun, but once the crypto comes in and the earnings come in, it becomes easy to lose sight of why you're playing, and then now it becomes a air quotes job and earnings, and that's your focus now. So I mean, I played every day so far since release: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and I'm actually even starting to think about, okay, if I'm going out of town this day, what do I do, blah blah blah, like, do I play my games early on? So I mean, it's like creeping into my mind already. So that part of it is, I feel like I might not be the only one, or maybe I am, but I think there's people out there that feel the same way, and I'll probably be dreading the day when I can't play at all. So we'll see when that comes. But that's one thing I feel like I'm still trying to get accustomed to in the crypto space, is that the daily play to earn aspect, because you can't, once that energy or cycle expires, you can't go back and make your earnings for the previous time. So something that I think might be worth just keeping in mind for most people.
Yeah, I mean, opportunity cost, you got to make sure the amount of gods you'd be earning is worth your time, energy, effort, and if it's going to be a stressful experience, maybe it's just not worth it. And for me personally, like, I've mostly been waiting for a balance patch rather than playing nowadays. Like I said, I did the first day, all 10 games, and I haven't, I've hardly started a day since, just because I run into a Nubians and it makes me sad. And you got to remember, the game is supposed to be fun first, and the play and earn should be secondary.
Right. Yeah, it's like to take like both your points and combine them. Like, if they're like heavily incentivizing you to play every day, and if the game is frustrating even like 30% of the time, it's going to become like very daunting very quickly. So I think like the meta, becoming more fun is definitely should be like top on the to-do list.
Yeah, definitely.
Crossing my fingers.
Yeah, balance definitely is a big discussion that has been ongoing for a while now in the community.
Yeah, that's for another video.
Right. Yeah, one other thing I wanted to mention about the sort of what I've noticed so far in the week of things I don't like about it is, well, I wouldn't say I don't like about it, but something I'm concerned about is now it feels like there's a weekend rank was a way to reward the player with Gods token already, but I think this, because it's now called daily, I just feel like the faucet has been turned on a little bit stronger. So I'm just thinking about how this affects the Gods token, meaning that what syncs do we have in place with more people earning daily. I'm just concerned simplistically on self pressure, right? If there's not enough Gods token syncs in game, then are we just setting up an economy where people are cashing out constantly on the Gods token, and Gods token just lose their value?
Yeah, that's a fair concern. Any kind of emissions, whether it's the daily play and earn emissions, whether it was the weekend ranked reward emissions, or the staking Blessing of the Gods program that they're doing now. The odds are that if you do a wide distribution, some of that is going to find its way to the market. and people are gonna sell for whatever reasons they may. That said, yeah, we definitely do. We have the one sink in the form of forging, but those proceeds are redistributed in the form of staking rewards. So yeah, I mean, you're right. It's going to fall on the game designers to build out a robust enough ecosystem where we reach that point of equilibrium. The emissions that are being distributed every day is roughly equal to the amount being either burned or utilized in some capacity.
Yeah, I'd also be interested to see the numbers for like how much gods were given out when it was only weekend ranked distributing gods compared to now. Because like if you earn like 3 gods a day with the daily play and earn system, like 3 times 7 is 21. And like I feel like an average weekend ranked run, you probably got like 12 gods. So it's obviously more with the daily play and earn. But you used to get those 12 gods for like 2 hours of time on one day. Whereas the 21 requires you to spend like probably like 30 or 40 minutes every single day. So I wonder how many people are willing to play enough to get the same amount of rewards as they would have gotten for weekend ranked.
Yeah, I mean, the one good thing is, like Professor said, the amount of gods that they're distributing every week, it's dynamic and it moves with the player base, So as we're in these doldrums here where we might not have the biggest daily player base, I think the cash value of the gods that they're distributing every day it's like less than $5,000, so that's not a ton of sell pressure. Especially with such a wide distribution, it's tough to justify withdrawing and swapping 3.5 gods on like Sushi Swap or something. So yeah, I mean, this might be like a down the road type of issue. Hopefully the team can incentivize people to not just keep the gods on layer 2 and but also hold the gods, which they're doing with the staking rewards program, and ideally use the gods with things like the forge or maybe, I don't know, sealed mode, if we can get to that at any point.
Yeah, or maybe just like a more elaborate star store where you're spending gods instead.
Ooh, or in addition to.
Yeah, or in addition to.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, in my quest to shine up my decks, because I was very happy with my free plain core cards, but when I was on the quest to get at least meteorite deck, I didn't realize, I don't often check the marketplaces like Token Trove or IMX, but when I finally did, I was actually quite surprised at how robust the gods market is in terms of cards being transacted in gods bought and sold. Because I just remember starting in the game before the tokens were out, everything was done in ETH, and that was sort of obviously there was the gas issues, but when it first moved to IMX, everything was done in ETH. But I was very surprised to see how active the gods card market is. I mean, it makes sense,
yeah.
Right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, like the Mudman and I alluded to, people just taking their Gods token earnings from previous weekend ranked events and using it to build out their collection. It's a really beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's a great loop.
Cool. All right. So I shared my pros and cons. You both jumped in, but any other? I'll ask the Mudman first. Do you have any specific pro you like about the daily play to earn so far that you haven't shared?
I think I've covered all the pros. I have one more con, like not to be too negative.
No, go for it.
But yeah, the one con that I have is that the daily play and earn started before you could like buy or fuse welcome set cards on like the secondary market, just because welcome set cards are inherently plain, and like there have been opportunities to get like Axewomen and Meteorite and Shadow, but if you're anywhere near a new player, you haven't had that opportunity, and then you just can't play that card if you want to be maximizing your daily play and earn. So I think it would have been a really tactful move to make it so you could get welcome set cards on the secondary market.
Yeah, absolutely. I know there's people like me that have dozens and dozens. I know you're in the same boat as far as Vanguard Axewoman goes.
Yeah, I'm covered on those. But I know I missed Shadow Overproof Brew in the Star Store like a month ago or so. And like I wanted to play War the other day, and I was bummed that my Overproof Brews were had to be plain.
Yeah, no, that's super fair. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I do wish they would mint those and get those on the secondary market so newer players have access to it as well. Also gives like some sort of tangible value to stars. Happy to see it.
Yeah, good point, guys. I know I've talked to some community members. I know I'm not going to name names, but there's a couple people that bought almost hundreds of Vanguard Axwomen, trying to get them into Diamond, and they invest a lot of
I'm in that boat.
Okay.
I have an honorary diamond.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I agree. Good point there. I think it makes sense to kind of get that going as well, because we do, as we know, some of the welcome cards are pretty strong and shows up in a lot of the decks and gets a lot of play time. So that would make sense. That's a good point, Mudman.
And I know Gods Unchained tweeted about a new shadow card in the Star Store, and half of the replies on Twitter were just "when Wild Hog."
Huh.
Yep, makes sense. That tracks.
Have they done Wild Hog in the Sanctum in the Star Store since the first day of Star Store?
Yeah, they did a second one where it was Meteorite. And,
That's nice.
They did.
Yeah, made sure to scoop a couple more.
Yeah, I had one. It disappeared from the client. I don't know what happened to it.
Have to put in a ticket.
Yeah. Same thing. Yeah, I missed
My
the
Wild
first
Hog
one.
was very confused.
Yeah, ended up at someone else's wallet. Yeah,
Yep.
I missed the first release of the Wild Hog, but the second time I bought 10 myself, trying to get into Shadow.
Good call.
Yeah, cool. How about you, Caution Fun? Any pros or con about the daily play to earn you'd like to share?
One thing that I guess not so much a con, because I can see I can see benefits to keeping the ratio closer, but I did think that the shine multiplier would be a bit bigger. As far as the difference between a full meteorite deck and a full diamond deck, because like I said before, you're going to be spending like 100x on average for an all diamond deck as compared to an all meteorite deck, and you'd watch your multiplier go from 1 to 2, and that's just on half of the equation. So it's you're doubling up your daily earnings there, your game to game earnings, but it's tough to justify spending 100x for asset that's only twice as productive. So I did think they would extend that out to maybe like 5x if your deck is like full blown diamond. I think that would still be a fine ratio where again, because you want it to become, you don't want it to become like you need thousands and thousands of dollars in order to maximize your daily play to earnings. Like I don't want that by any means, but I would like the multiplier to just be a little bigger, but I understand I'm woefully biased. So
yeah, and one thing I've also heard the community talk about is that a diamond common is basically treated the same as a diamond legendary, and we know in terms of cost those are two different ballparks there, but so I think that's too, right? A diamond legendary is earning you as much as a diamond common.
Yeah, so like maybe the answer is just like, because I understand for a first iteration, like obviously you want to keep it as simple as possible.
Right.
And this is very simple and straightforward and like easy to digest. But maybe future iterations are a bit more nuanced where they take things like that into consideration. Whether it's rarity level or maybe even sets, like maybe Genesis gets like a 5% boost or like, something along those lines. The promo cards, maybe they get a little boost. I'm not sure, but those are all things that they can do in the future, and I'm excited to see what levers they pull.
Yeah, same here.
Cool. All right, before you wrap up the video, I wanted to also share some advice or tips that I've noticed in the daily play to earn so far. Mine's kind of similar to what I mentioned as a con regarding the FOMO and the compulsion to need to play every day. I think some of us, kind of like weekend rank, now it's every day. Some people kind of get that feeling of, should I play now? Should I play later? When can I play? And it's end up, cramming it at the last minute and racing against the timer countdown. So I think my advice here is just, get your games in when you can. If you win some, it's better than missing it and not playing at all. If that's your goal, if you want to maximize your earnings and get some fragments and daily earnings going. So don't overthink it, and just, if you have a few, some time to play, just go ahead and play. How about you, Caution Fun, or Mr. Mudman? Any advice or tip you'd like to share?
I would just say keep an eye out on the Star Store for any good like Meteorite or Shadow welcome set cards, and have fun while you're doing the daily planner. Like if you're having a horrible time, I don't think the 3 gods a day are worth it.
Right on.
Well said. And on closing notes on my end there, if you ever need any advice in any capacity, definitely hop in the TST Discord. Feel free to ask any one of us. We'd be more than happy to share our thoughts. And if you do end up deciding you want to shine up your deck a little bit, whether that's picking up some meteorite cards on the secondary market or going from meteorite to higher tier shines, please consider using the official TeamStreamTeam token trove ref link available in the description there. You click that link, it'll bring you to token trove, and anything you buy after that, they're going to kick back a little bit to TST. We'll use it for giveaways, tournament prize pools, etc. in the future. So just something to keep in mind, and we appreciate it.
Awesome. Sounds good. Real quick, Mudman, right now in the Star Store, we got in Shadow, the Escape Silverback, 5-mana nature with a stats of 5/5.
R.I.P. Harambe.
Yeah. What do you think, Mudman?
I think I would avoid that one, but I commend you for checking the Star Store.
All right, cool. All right, thank you both, Mudman and Caution Fun, for spending some time. Hope everyone that's watching enjoys and knows now what daily play to earn is. Again, as Caution mentioned, feel free to reach out to us in our Discord, follow us in our socials, and thank you all for hanging out. We'll check you out next time. Bye.
Take it easy.
Yep, have a good day.